Welcome on in everyone to a follow-up video for the poll we had over on the community tab deciding which of the Medieval 2 DLC campaigns we would be diving into once our Venice campaign was finished. So with you all's votes, we have, with a resounding victory, the Americas campaign. So let's go ahead and kind of go through the 4 factions we have available to us from the start here, and then I'll let you all see the intro, and then we'll have another poll to decide which of these 4 factions will be playing for our Americas campaign. So we'll be starting with New Spain, of course. So this is going to be led by Hernan Cortez. For their pros and cons, which is all we're going to be really going over here, is going to be that they have good gunpowder units. They've got cavalry and excellent missile troops. And then actually later on, they're going to have reinforcements coming from Spain, depending on how well you actually run New Spain. So their weakness is going to be that they don't have very many actual Spanish men early on until you actually get some cities under your control. And then they are going to be relying on a lot of native mercenaries very early on, which are pretty expensive actually compared to your Spanish infantry. So those are going to be their strengths and weaknesses. Moving on to the Aztec Empire, which is our kind of South American Rome-style campaign. You're going to have lots of soldiers. They are going to be very, very heavily focused on mostly melee. They're going to have the most elite of the native warriors. We've got excellent javelin troops here with the Aztecs. And then, like I said, they're going to have that South American Rome-style start where you have a great big empire and you're trying to kind of keep it from crumbling as everyone else tries to take the things that don't belong to them. Their cons are going to be that everyone hates you. They've got no armor, except for very, very limited armor on their most elite troops. No cavalry, of course, and no weapon technology whatsoever. So they're all using primitive weapons the entire campaign, and that's what you are going to be dealing with. Just basically, you're trying to swarm over enemies in great numbers of elite infantry. Moving on from the Aztecs, we have the Maya, which are going to be very similar to the Aztec, but they're going to be a much more farming-focused society. So less elite warriors, but you're still going to be focused around swarm infantry, both swarm, missile, and melee infantry. And they've got specialized hornet throwers that are going to be chucking a whole hornet's nest into the enemies, which has actually got some pretty decent armor piercing. It's still considered a javelin, so you are going to be lacking in the range department. It's still going to be basically a kind of a Skaven, like more or less a Skaven or Greenskins kind of swarm faction if you're more used to the Total War Warhammer side. Their downsides are going to be that they have, again, no armor, no cavalry, and no weapon technology. Their hornet throwers kind of being their very specialized counter to a lot of the swarms that the other Mesoamerican societies have. For the pros, which actually we've gone a little bit out of order here, the pros, they've got really, really good food production compared to the other empires here, and their swarm infantry are very good at just overwhelming everyone around them before they can really get too much going on, so they're very much your go-wide faction. Lastly, we have the Apachean tribes, which are probably my favorite of the bunch. We've got the Apache, where you are playing with a pretty much strictly missile-based faction, so it's all checkerboard all the time. It's going to be nothing but storms of arrows. For their pros, they've got the best archers in the game, they've got fast cavalry, and they can adopt their technology from foes they face. So when you're facing the Europeans, you can actually take on some of the gunpowder technology that they have into your own armies, which is awesome. They also have a crusade mechanic, which is called a war party, and it allows you to move much further and have way less upkeep on anyone who is involved in said war party. Their weaknesses are going to be very similar to the others, where they have no armor, but mostly primitive weapons, but they do have cavalry, so that is the one upside over the other Native American factions you have there. So let me know which of you think. We'll go ahead, and if you want to put those in the comments below your vote, we'll also have a poll going up not too long after this video goes live. So let me know your thoughts, and I will see you all quite soon with that campaign. Onward to the intro.
Speak of the new world, and men dream of riches, glory, and conquest. This land is home to the fearsome and decadent Aztecs, a people who appease their great sun god with hearts torn from the chests of their enemies. And enemies the Aztecs have aplenty. To the east on the Yucatan Peninsula, the Mayans, a majestic people with an epic history, dream of restoring their once great empire to its former glory. North, beyond the jungles, roam the Apachean tribes, skilled hunters who follow the great herds across the plains, and fearsome warriors who are quick to learn the ways of their enemies. A new enemy sails on the horizon, bearing steel and marching under the Holy Cross. To Spain, the New World is a land of hope, a land where the Holy Word is delivered on the end of a sword. A land where empires are born. A land of total war.